I say black people are the best people on the planet Earth as far as intellectually, spiritually, physically, everything. So, even though what you said right, if you are the best man on the planet Earth and you are the blessed woman on the planet Earth, I would have to oppress you harder to keep you down. It is a race thing because if you got, I'll put it like this: if you got a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 15-year-old, and you trying to keep them suppressed in a certain room, and the goal is to not let them escape outside the room, the methods to keep the 15-year-old in the room must be more extreme.
Right.
Why? Because he is a more formidable opponent than the 5-year-old and the 2-year-old.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Black men and women are the 15-year-old. That belief in that interpretation of God is useless. All right, y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Don't Be a Viking podcast. Today I got two guests with me. Now, to start it off, y'all just say introductory. Say y'all name, age, and occupation.
All right, my name is Cam. I'm 22 years old, and I work for Memphis Shelby County Schools in the SPED department. Also, I DJ on the side.
My name is Kiana, short for Kiki. I'm 22 years old, and I work for the government, and I also create canvases and T-shirts and design things.
We gotta ask ourselves, what is normal and who controlling what we consider normal? I was just talking to Isaiah about in the Bible it say Pharaoh said, let's kill the males, spare the females. Why kill the males? That's the first question you gotta ask yourself. Why? One other way of killing the male is to castrate and feminize the male. Because if you castrate the male and he got no power, got no backbone, he better off is dead. He useless. So why would you try to castrate and feminize a male? In a society, the male is the first line of defense for that whole society. If you make the male not a man, cool, I can attack the women and the children. If I'm no oppressor, if y'all in a relationship, let's say y'all represent a society. If I remove him out the way, however the hell I do it, and now you vulnerable, if I get to impregnate my ideas in your head, when you have kids, even though it ain't my damn kid, when y'all have a kid, you gonna push my agenda in that little kid head. So you kill the male, remove the male out the picture, spare the female. Why would you spare the female? To propagate my agenda. Cool. Now, if that's the idea of Pharaoh, we gotta ask ourselves, damn, is the Bible a history book or a prophecy book? Do we call the prophets or do we call them historians? If they're prophets and they're prophesying the future and we get this book in our time, we got to ask ourselves, is it critical and is it essential that we think that, what's this prophesying, what was to come instead of what happened? Did Pharaoh literally do this in Egypt however many years ago? You see what I'm saying? Or is Pharaoh symbolic for the rulers of this day and time? So now when we think,
You think it could have been both?
on some stuff, yes. On some stuff, I think this is a historical account and it's prophetic. Most of the stuff, I don't think literally happened. Most of the stuff, I think, is prophecy for what will happen. Like if you use that same story, Pharaoh and the children of Israel, historians and scholars studied that area. It's no such thing as slavery that happened for 400 years over there. It's no such thing as a large body of people being drugged somewhere else and brought to Egypt in that land. That never happened. And scholars have tried to prove this over and over again. That wasn't a historical account of back then. So what is the historical account? The only people that been in bondage 400 years, come up, we ain't even gotta say that. This the part y'all should know. I ain't even saying nothing new. Everybody done talked about this. The only people that been in bondage 400 years is us. Cool. So, and my challenge to y'all is from cover to cover. I'm not just talking about where Pharaoh and the children of Israel concerned. I'm challenging you to say from cover to cover, it's talking about the black man and black woman throughout the whole book. You might say there's racist. That's fine. We can have a theological discussion. I don't even want to say debate. We can have a theological discussion and we can go into it and see if I'm just blowing smoke because I'm black, or is it evidence to support this? But I would say that majority of the stuff from Genesis to Revelation is prophecy. Mm-hmm. Even though I know our people and most people around the world look at it as a historical account. Like, this would happen to the Jesus 2,000 years ago. This would happen to Moses 4,000 years ago. Okay, like, I can understand where it's coming from, but let me ask you this. What would be the point of God giving us a history book of what happened yesterday? The only reason this would be important is if these same actions are being reenacted today. That's one reason. So if it is a literal history book, it's just telling us what's happened today. So it's still a book to tell you what's to come. I don't even think it's a real history book, because I'm putting it like this. Not only is it not only history, it's symbolic, metaphoric, and allegorical more than it is literal. If you tell me Job was in a real belly of a whale,
Jonah, yeah,
Jonah,
yeah.
I would look at you like you crazy as hell. You see what I'm saying? If you tell me that Moses had a rod and this rod parted a damn sea, I would look at you like you goddamn ignorant. Now, you folks will agree with it when we talk about other prophets. Even when we talk about Jesus, if you mean to tell me Jesus seen some water right here, did this and turned water into wine, and you mean to tell me that this a literal historical account, now I gotta judge what theology and interpretation do you read the Bible with. Now, just like we said about the skinny jeans, I don't judge our people for the type of mindsets they got, because we interpreted this from living under our enemy for 400 years. But when we bring up the conversation, I don't even like having religious, theological conversations, because folks been believing this for so long, they not open to nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So I take this perspective. The reason our sisters want to dress like sluts, sluts a harsher word, I say whores. I think this. I think that harlots. I think that's easier on the ears. But I think our sisters dress like this because the black man and woman under attack. They've been attacked in a way they think it's right to dress like a whore. Same thing with brothers. Brothers think it's right to act feminine. Brothers think it's right to be able to say, because I got balls, you should follow me. I should be the leader of the relationship, instead of taking the harder route and being studious and making her submit to you, not forcefully, but she feel like she ain't got no other choice because she like, damn, this man so goddamn smart.
Right.
Whatever the hell I think, like, what I thought going left was right. If he say going right, I don't even want to challenge her because bruh so damn smart. I know the last 30 things he done said been goddamn 100% accurate. Yep. So brothers don't want to take that route of earning submission though. They want to say, I got balls, you don't got balls. See, the Bible say, submit to me because I got balls.
Right.
Stupid.
And I like what you said earlier about how certain things have become normal in society. How did that happen? I like how you said that, because we gotta know it's intentional. Like things don't just become normal.
What?
It's intentionally happening. It's intentionally being. People are intentionally influenced. Like it's not just, it don't just happen. Like what you see is popular, what you see is trending. That's intentional.
And it's motive behind it.
You're right. It's a motive behind it.
I'm gonna ask you, what do y'all think the motive behind it is? I can list, 1,000 things. Just me listing the facts don't really do nothing. But if you can interpretate why these things happen, now you can start to put the pieces together. Like if we just bring up different facts. Slavery was one thing, but everybody know about slavery. Everybody know about slavery so much that we damn near start to dismiss slavery. Like, yeah, it happened, let it go. You see what I'm saying? So we ain't even gonna use slavery. And we use the war on drugs, mass incarceration, the feminization of the black man, the masculation of the black woman, the masculinization of the black woman. And we keep listing things, how autism was a white person disease. Then over time, now you look at black people are the main. So now you ask yourself, and if you think I'm being racist, shut the hell up and do the studies. Autism was a white person disease. So if autism was a primarily white disease, how in the hell did it go from being a predominantly black person disease? Same thing if you look at being homosexual. This was a white person thing. I think it was in 2013, 2015, they did a Gallup study. It was like over 200,000 people. This was no small study. They got a large ass survey. People they surveyed. Majority of the folks that's gay now is black people. Did you know that homosexuality disproportionately affects black people more than any other race? Meaning if 100 white people gay, less of them gonna die from HIV and other immune system diseases than black people. I forgot the exact numbers, but let's just say 10 white people die from having from being homosexual. The number's so disproportionate. For example purposes, we're gonna say 30 black people die. Damn, is this accidental?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
You start thinking like that, like.
Or is this a specific strategy like, we got an enemy and we gonna attack the enemy and we're gonna teach the enemy if they try to formulate plans to guard against our attacking, they being racist.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. And the way I have interpreted and looked at it is I think that like it is a high percentage of black people that have these diseases and these homosexuality, things of that nature. But I also think that there's people, and I don't, when I start talking like this, I don't want to get but there's people in power.
Yeah.
Who I believe run the whole world.
Yeah.
All races, not just blacks.
Right. And that's what I'm getting to. I think they don't give a damn about any of us. I believe that the same way I think that has been, how do I say this? I think that the racial tension, and I ain't even gonna say tension, I think the disparity, I think that has been intentionally, I think that's one of the things that's been intentionally pushed on us as well. To think that they care about one race more than they do another.
Okay.
Because I think that they don't give a, like I said, I think they don't give a damn about humankind, period. Because look at this age we're going into with the AI and they, because let me put it to you like this. I feel like if they cared about one race more than another, I think they would only show ads to black homes, or they would only show, like feminism, for example.
Yeah.
Feminism, for those who don't know, it's this guy named Nicholas Rockefeller. You heard of the Rockefeller family. Yeah. He's the one that established feminism. People think feminism is the woman.
Girl
we can
the definition of feminism is nice.
Right.
Fight for women's equality and empowerment. The definition is nice.
But what it actually is when you, and he said it himself, Nicholas Rockefeller. You can look it up, Nicholas Rockefeller. He said that, no, this is so we can get the state to raise your children, the women to pay taxes,
get them out the home.
Right, get them out the homes. When they work, then who's going to raise the child?
Yeah.
Oh, the schools, the state. We're going to implant our ideologies and our thoughts and what we want them to learn. So that was one thing. Get them to work. They think only the man can do it. The women didn't just start thinking like that out of nowhere. It was intentionally done. And so and it started with white women. And then, because back then they wouldn't let black women work anyway.
Right.
But it started with white women. So they were the ones that were saying, hold on, they can do it, we can do it too. Now it sounds good.
Yeah.
But that's not how it's supposed to be going. Your man is the only one supposed to be working. And you're supposed to be at home, taking care of the kids, taking care of home. But like I said, Rockefeller intentionally, implanted this way of thinking to where it's supposed to be equal. Man, woman, and I feel like that's where, when I say they don't give a damn about none of us, that's the type of stuff I mean. Like,
okay. Now I want to challenge you on that.
Okay.
This is what I say about that. Do I get what you're saying? Yes. And do I even agree to a certain extent? Yes. Mm-hmm. As far as they don't care what color you is, they just care about getting on top.
Right.
Okay, cool. I do agree with that. But do I think we can dismiss the race aspect? No, and I'm gonna tell you why. If we talk about genetics, it's scientifically proven that black people are the first people on earth. There's not a dispute there. All right, cool. We know that we can get the brown germ from the black germ, or we can get the recessive from the dominant, but we can't get the dominant from the recessive.
Right.
So if black skin is the most dominant, common sense tells us, okay, cool, black people are the first people on earth. Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Now we have to study how long have black people been the only people on the earth, and when did other races start to come into play? I forgot the brother name, but I use white scholars and scientists for a lot of the points I use, because people think if I only use black scholars, I'm biased. Right, you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like if I tell you Malcolm X said this, Elijah Muhammad said this, what's brother name? Black Panther Party. Damn. I just lost it. But if I tell you these brothers said this thing, you're like, oh, they're not scientists. Cool. Yeah. If I tell you some black scientists, you're gonna say, oh, you being biased. Black, right, so right. Now, so I'm not tripping. Right. I'm gonna use white scientists to prove the same point. A white scientist, name sleeping me right now, said the recessive trait of blue eyes only 6 to 10,000 years old. The 10,000 part stretch. So we still gonna use the whole time period he referenced and say max. Let's say white skin came around 6 to 10,000 years ago. If every other skin is a mutation from black skin, which another white scientist proved that, if every skin color is a mutation from black, if white came 6,000 years ago, other races, whether you say the red man, the yellow man, the white man, if the white man came 6,000, the red and yellow, or the brown and yellow, the Japanese and the Chinese ain't come too much after that. Cool. So let's say max, I get them an extreme estimate. And we're going to say 50,000 years ago. It's when other races started to populate the earth. Cool. Now we got to ask ourselves, how long has the goddamn earth been there? How long have we been there? You see what I'm saying? If we've been here for millions of years and the other race just came for 50,000 years, now we got to ask ourselves, damn, if another race been here for a fraction of the damn time we've been here, how the hell do white people run the whole world now? The whole world. Cool. So this is why I say I disagree with it's not a race thing. If you the original man, if you the original woman, if you the mother of civilization, if you the father of civilization, everywhere on the earth, here we are minorities. Around the globe, we outnumber any other race, or we outnumber white people 11 to 1. That's an extreme difference. So if we the original people, you will have to ask yourself, is certain qualities that we have that other people don't have. And this not me being pro-black. This, like, let's be scientific and think. If your people been here for millions of years, we know through eugenics and dysgenics, you can pass on stuff through your traits, through your bloodline that can prove impactful when this person runs into certain difficulties or situations or whatever. Cool. We're going to use the physical example. You know, if you go hoop or play football, whatever the hell you do with a lot of other white folks,
it's over.
It's over.
It's over.
Cool. Now, we've been dumbed down to think on the physical level. Now, I ask you, on the same mental capability, do you think you can outdo white people?
Of course.
Now, folks are so timid about the conversation. They say, "Oh, it doesn't matter what race, as long as you've well studied." That's true. You got to study to be intelligent.
True.
But I say, looking at our history, Black history, when you study Black civilizations, do they outdo and outperform white civilizations? Who civilized the white man? Was it Black people? Was it the Black Moors that went into Europe? Yes. Who civilized the Black man? The Black man. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Nobody came and became our damn saviors. Right. We civilized ourselves. Was slavery an option? This is what I love to ask people. Do you think slavery was an option? Or do you think slavery was necessary for white people to build the world they wanted to build? Why do you think they came and got your black ass? If they could build it themselves. Who did they take out of Africa? Did they take savages? Or did they take a couple savages and a couple extremely intelligent ass builders, architects, engineers? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Cool. So was slavery an option? Or they like, shit, we need somebody. Go take their black ass.
Right.
So if race not important ideology in their head, I would ask, why are all the attacks primarily on us? Not all of them, but because you said, I like the way you said, cuz it's commercials in everybody's home. Everybody going to the same public schools. Goddamn white folk, black, they not saying black folks go to these. Yes.
Right.
But I would say that it's been more specific attacks on black people. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And so I do agree, because they do build certain things in certain neighborhoods and you know, things of that nature. So, but I want to ask you, when you say certain attacks, what?
Okay,
some examples.
We can say, like you said, certain things in certain neighborhoods. 80% of abortion clinics.
For sure.
In black neighborhoods.
For sure.
It's a study. It's called the XYY Super Predator Study. They knew that the myth of the super predator thing came from Bill Clinton's wife, Hillary Clinton. She pushed this agenda out. But the agenda states that black men are more prone to violence by birth. Cool. Now, if the president's wife saying this, everybody, all ears, oh shit, she gotta know what she talking about. Cool. So I believe it was Boston University or something like that. I'll put the information on the screen, y'all, so y'all don't think I'm talking about my ass. It was this study called the XYY Super Predator Study.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The study proved or suggested that black kids, black males specifically, are born with an extra Y chromosome, and this extra Y chromosome makes them more prone to violence. Cool. They didn't just stop there. They said, all right, now that we know this the case, let's go talk to the mothers while she's pregnant and suggest to the mothers that, you know, this kid dangerous as hell and they dangerous to society and he might grow up being a murderer and this and would you like to abort him? Abortion rates went up. Because if I'm a doctor and I'm telling you this, you know I got more goddamn medical study than you. So I'm more credible than you. So even though you love this little baby you've been growing for the last however many months, if a medical professional is suggesting it to you, you listen to it way more than you would listen to little Billy down the street telling you to abort your damn kid. You see what I'm saying? That's another example. So we got the abortion clinics being in our communities, the XYY study. We got the war on drugs. We got mass incarceration. We got the wardrobe thing we was talking about. Who dressed like the most sluts? You can go look at, bruh, I can prove to you that white people was the ones dressing nude, basically. White women. This is a white woman wardrobe to dress nude in public.
Yeah, I used to sometimes in my free time I be looking at like old stuff, like just might be like an old MTV or an old. Man, it was the white women that were wild back then, and then it kind of like think about Madonna, think about. You know, that's all now I can think of right now.
These folks naked. Yeah. These folks is naked.
So it definitely did start
now
with them.
Now we gotta ask, how to the hell are we the worst one? Our women dressing naked. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, do you think this unintentional? No. So wardrobe, we can add that attack in there. We can say if black men are the fathers of civilization. Don't you think they know how to be literal fathers to their kids? Why so many black men absent? Do you think this is unintentional? No, that's an attack. You see what I'm saying? So we can name hundreds of examples. I can use the Divinacide. The Divinacide is the act of killing God. Since you can't kill God literally, the Divinacide is if you got a religion, I can do a couple different things. Let's say if you got a main minister or preacher in your city, if I kill your preacher, that's a form of Divinacide. No, that's not killing the literal God. But if I kill the interpretation of God that you have to give you spiritual life, that's a form of Divinacide. Another form of Divinacide is if you forbid or prohibit a people from exercising their belief in God, which happened every time we got colonized by white folks. We already had our own interpretation and version of God. And when you stay there around the earth, folks spoke different languages. So they called God different names. But everybody's interpretation of God was foundationally the same. But every time white folks came and colonized us, they stripped our God from us. Birthed our churches, mosques, whatever we called them in that part of the earth. They birthed them down, killed our spiritual leaders, killed a lot of the men, sent missionaries to stay in this land, impregnate the women, force Christianity on them folks, and then bam, now everybody around the earth Christians. Your folks weren't Christian, cuz. Simple as that. That's the Divinacide. So that's all Divinacide is. Divinacide is the killing of God. You can't kill God literally, so you find different ways. But Divinacide, that's an attack. You see what I'm saying? So we can name multiple different attacks. The school system. Majority of people in America read below a 6th grade level. Why do you think young brothers not interested in reading? When I was in school, I got over 40 books now. When I was in school, I didn't read a damn thing. I tried to read Goosebumps, could never finish it. I liked it. I liked the books, could never finish the shit. Tried to read American Chillers, liked the book, could never finish it. The same thing with Diary of a Whipped Kid. That book, I still couldn't finish that shit. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, like, bruh. But why is young brothers not interested in reading?
Because they know the power and know how to read.
Not even that. Because the brother's attracted to it. If I tell a young brother you can achieve everything you want in life through reading, the little brother gonna be attracted to read. When he pick up a book in school, all you read is white bullshit. Why am I reading about Christopher Columbus? I don't give a damn about this nigga. Right. Why am I reading about all these white presidents? I don't give a damn about none of these niggas.
Gonna add to my life.
This don't do nothing but teach me. You know what it do teach you? How cold white people is. That's it. It don't show no reflection of you nowhere in there. But when you start learning about yourself and you able to start applying what you read to your personal life, now it's fun. Now reading interesting. They don't teach you. Every black leader they taught you about in school, they whitewashed them. They teach you about Martin Luther King.
Just saying it.
They taught you about Martin Luther King. They talk about Martin Luther King had a dream. What was Martin Luther King's last speech? Why did he die? Martin Luther King said, I led y'all into a burning building. Meaning, I told y'all to be friends with white folks. That shit ain't working. Bro, study the later part of Martin Luther King. They don't teach all that in school. They teach you the Martin Luther King that was trying to kiss white folks' ass. The Martin Luther King that was like, no matter what white folks do to us, let's befriend them.
I believe he was. Man, ooh, you got me. See, I believe he was used as well.
He was until he woke up, and then he started
that's
saying,
when he said,
"Go to hell, white folks."
Right,
and then
right.
they said, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
When he started saying, "Hey, look, all y'all little black folks, hey, don't go to war, don't fight these folks." They said, "Damn, this nigga interfering with us going to war."
Right,
This
right.
nigga interfering with kill his ass.
Yeah.
When he stopped being an asset to them, kill his ass.
Right.
We learned about Malcolm X. Whitewash. The only thing you know about Malcolm X is he stood in a window with a gun and said, "By any means necessary." Every time they kill a black leader, they reduce him down to one little ass cliche catchphrase and say, "This is what you need to remember him by."
Yeah.
You don't know. Malcolm X said the white man the devil. Oh damn! Now you think I'm being racist? You know what I'm saying?
said-
You don't know that Malcolm X sat down with Martin Luther King. And Martin Luther King started listening to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Then when Martin Luther King started listening to Elijah Muhammad, white folks came with a Nobel Peace Prize and said, "Look, Martin Luther King, we're gonna give you $50,000." This back then, cause it's a lot of money. Cause they like, we're gonna give you $50,000. Why? Why would if he go sit with another black leader? They say to hell with white folks. Why after he leave that meeting, I'm gonna give him $50,000 to reintroduce to him that nigga still be on the white side. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what I'm saying. I think it's more, even though don't get me wrong, I agree with what you're saying. White folks will even say to hell with other white folks to succeed and be on top. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. But I don't want us to dismiss that it is a race part because and this a topic that's gonna take longer than this little setting right here. So if you don't believe me, challenge yourself to study it. Or hit me up, cause DM me, whatever, and I will give you the study material. Cause I say black people are the best people on the planet Earth. As far as intellectually, spiritually, physically, everything. So even though what you said right, if you are the best man on the planet Earth and you are the best woman on the planet Earth, I would have to oppress you harder to keep you down. It is a race thing because if you got, I'll put it like this, if you got a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 15-year-old, and you trying to keep them suppressed in a certain room, and the goal is to not let them escape outside the room, the methods to keep the 15-year-old in the room must be more extreme.
Right.
Why? Because he is a more formidable opponent than the 5-year-old and the 2-year-old.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Black men and women are the 15-year-old. Even though we've been through so much oppression, so much hardship, so much adversity, the number one threat to white supremacy is the black man and woman. So I have to oppress you more. You see what I'm saying? So yes, I agree with what you're saying. That they like fuck everybody. As long as we're on top, fuck other white folks. Fuck them. Yes, I agree with that. But they have to go out their way
I see what
to
you're saying.
protect what they got going to make sure they target the black man and woman. You see what I'm saying?
What's your thoughts on it? You know, real quiet.
Man, I'm just listening. I definitely think that it is intentional. But I look at stuff more so on the spiritual side.
Okay.
Because like even when you was talking about with the feminism and stuff,
Yeah.
I feel like how you was talking about Pharaoh and he killed.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a spiritual thing because once you say for instance there's a family like a man, a woman, and the kids.
Yeah.
If you take away the male, like you were saying, once that authority is gone, the enemy or whoever can come in and just destroy everything that man who has the authority built is gonna be gone because you stripped him away. So it's they're intentionally trying to do this thing with men because they don't want men who don't know, because some men do know the authority that they have. They don't know the authority that they have. So the things that they put in the world, they make it seem like, you know, it's okay or it's trendy, but they don't know the spiritual aspect that when you take away that authority, you don't even know what you don't know the capability that you have as a man.
Yeah.
So, I just be looking at this spiritual aspect that it's all intentional, because overall they just want to like destroy people in like as a whole.
Yeah.
But they gonna target men first. And like you said, black men, they have a lot of potential, and they have the capacity to be, what you was talking about. So they're going to target those people.
Yeah.
And not just black. Yeah, you're right, they do more with black because they have more, like you were saying,
I like how you worded it. You said potential. They got more potential.
Yeah,
You can speak with it.
Yeah, basically like what you're saying. They have more potential, but they're gonna target them harder. But overall, they're doing it to everybody. So that was my take, because it's not just they definitely go hard on black folks, but it's definitely like it's not just black folks. They doing the when I say they, I mean the enemy. The enemy is doing it to everybody. He want to destroy all that he can, and he don't. It's not like he just snap his fingers and boom, destroy. It's tricks and it's schemes, and the schemes are what they putting out in the world. Like he was saying, how they make stuff trendy or they make stuff like popular. People are deceived because they don't have the knowledge. They don't read. They don't understand spiritual side of things. They don't understand the effect that these things can have, because you don't know and you don't have the knowledge of knowing what it is and stuff. So yeah, that was my take on that.
Okay. Now, I like how you said the spiritual side too, and I'm gonna ask y'all this. If the Bible say we are made in God's image and likeness, first we got to ask ourselves, what the hell does image and likeness mean? And who the hell is the we? Because the we can't be every living thing. Because is the ant and the frog made in God's image and likeness too? You see what I'm saying? Right. So we got to ask ourselves, what does image mean? What does likeness mean? And who is the we? Image. We're going to stick with likeness first, because this is the part everybody can agree on. Likeness, the character, the personality, so to say, the inner qualities, the metaphysical. Cool. We know what likeness is. What is image? This the part that folks get tricky on. I say image is exactly what it sounds like. You look like God. Me physically looking at you, you look like God. But what does that suggest? That suggests God has a physical body. That's where the disagreement starts. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So before I go further, let me ask y'all what y'all think image mean in this sentence.
To me, when the Bible says we were made in the image and likeness of God, I think it means that we were made to look like God. And what that means is, I believe that God is so you say you believe that God is a physical body.
I believe that when we say this, we gotta give context. Mm. If you look at Genesis, it say Adam and Eve hid from God, they hid behind a tree. Mm. They heard the footsteps of God. Okay. If God up above you, you won't hide behind something. You will hide under something. You see what I'm saying? When you hide behind something, that gives you the knowledge that the person you hide from on the same parallel level. Mm. You see what I'm saying? So if they heard the footsteps of God and they hid behind something, okay, God must be on this level. Later in Genesis.
Or what if that's just what they thought?
Okay, I give different descriptions. Later in Genesis, it say 3 men walked up to Abraham. Mm. One of them was the Lord. The other 2 was angels. The 2 was the same angels that went to Sodom and Gomorrah to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. They started chopping it up with Lot. They said, Lot, if you go find me some folks that ain't evil as hell, I'll spread the whole city. Them 2 went to go chop it up with Lot. The 1 stayed with Abraham. So it said 3 men walked down on Abraham. One of the men was the Lord. Abraham offered to sit under the shade. He offered the Lord, do you want to sit under the shade? What need does shade have to a physical being? You use shade to cool physicality off. You see what I'm saying? Sarah, Abraham's wife, when the Lord came in the house, she fed him, so he got to have a mouth. He got to have a throat, intestines, a stomach, and the flesh to house these organs. She gave him water to wash his hands and feet. So we know he got hands, we know he got feet. What else did she do? I can't remember nothing else. I know he came in, she fed him, washed him. It say Enoch walked with God. It say Moses spoke to God face to face as man speak to a friend. I don't speak to no damn ghost. I don't think y'all speak to no damn ghost. You know what I'm saying? I think all y'all friends look just like y'all. Physical flesh. You know what I'm saying? So now you can go to John 4:24. It say, but God is a spirit, so worship him in spirit. Now you're like, okay, this contradicts the physical descriptions. But when you look at this verse and you look at the Hebrew and Greek of this verse, spirit translate to demut. No, that's image of likeness. Demut is a ruah and pneuma. That's what spirit translate to. Ruah and pneuma, both of these words give off physical description, like an anthropomorphic body. So it was translated in English, God a spirit, but that's not what the more original transcripts say. You see what I'm saying? So I would say that looking throughout scripture, it says God is a man. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I was just talking about that earlier, how whenever you see God mentioned, you should always see he.
If it was a spirit, you would say it's. Because you think God's so immature in his knowledge and his vocabulary that he can't use another word other than he?
Let me ask you this though. So do you think you don't think it's possible for a spirit to be a person just without a body?
I get what you're saying. So spirit still taking on, like spirit still having a personality and everything we got just without the physical flesh. This is the thing I'll say about that. When we enter slavery, our slave master said heaven and hell is something you achieve after death. Why did they say this? Do our people, keep in mind, why would we listen to white people if they only been here this amount of time? And the history of the black man is infinite. You would have to assume we have more knowledge. Unless they so goddamn smarter than us that they achieved everything we achieved knowledge-wise in a short amount of time. Right. I don't believe it. You see what I'm saying? Right. So why would we listen to them? They're just some food for thought. They told us we'd get heaven and hell after we die. They said this because I'm finna work you like a damn dog while you alive. And you gonna look to your reward after I kill your ass. Mm-hmm. They know ain't no goddamn heaven and hell after we die. You see, that's why they building they heaven here. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they gave us the afterlife and spirit theology to take our mind off the reality and focus our thoughts in the sky. Mm-hmm. No, I don't think it's a God without a form and body. What I do think is God is infinite. The knowledge and thought is infinite. If I die right now and I got a kid, let's say I'm not God, so I don't know how to do it. But let's say if I could take all my thoughts and knowledge, put it into this kid. The kid grow up to 80. He finna die. He did the same thing. That's infinite. You see what I'm saying? Right. That would never stop. So, excuse me, I think the knowledge of God is infinite. But I do think God is a physical being because we have no proof or reality of nothing immaterial being able to create material. You see what I'm saying? The only thing that creates material is material. Your brain is immaterial. Not your brain. Your knowledge is immaterial. I can't grab your knowledge. Right. Your knowledge manifests material. Right. You see what I'm saying? I think it's the same thing with God. We all spirit beings, but our spirit is enclosed in something physical. Right. When the physical die, the spirit has no way to express itself. It's like electricity. Electricity exists without the physical TV, but the physical TV is needed to express the life of electricity.
Man, it's so crazy because literally was just talking about this a couple of hours ago, how a spirit needs a body to express
Come on,
himself. Bro. Yeah, without a body, a spirit, it always is looking for someone to express themselves through.
Come on
So
now.
it's crazy because I literally was just saying it earlier. So yeah, I definitely agree with that spiritual aspect and how the electricity analogy. I
Yeah.
definitely agree with that.
Like I can break this TV right now. The electricity still exists,
Right.
but it can't manifest until I bring another source for
Right.
the electricity to go
Exactly.
through.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So now folks will say, but it's God. God can do anything.
Mm.
This the problem with these type of conversations. Yes, God can do anything. I'm not denying it.
Mm.
But when people believe in something false, spirits just float around. There's something false. You can't prove that. You can't show me like the proof of your knowledge. You can't show me it manifested. All you can do is pull up a book, pull up the Bible that has been tampered with. We can't dismiss that. All you can do is pull up a book and point it in the book.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that I'm trying to see how, do you think that belief has any validation to it, or is it just belief? Like you know, I can't
The belief that God is a spirit.
right. Or you could say belief that God is a spirit, or just belief in the Bible, period. Do you think that belief
I like that
holds
question.
any, substance, or is it just it can be just dismissed because it's no
Evidence.
Okay.
physical.
I'm gonna say
evidence?
this. Okay. I'm gonna say this. And I'm not, but I really want y'all to hear me out because I don't like disrespecting nobody belief pattern. Because if there's something that's carrying you through life, that's something very important and fragile. So I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. I'm the only Muslim out of my family. Everybody Christian. So don't think I'm throwing no salt or no dirt, nothing like that. Is belief alone important, or should you have some proof to go by? Belief has its place, but the black man and woman should be sick of belief alone. And I'm gonna say this. We've been calling on our interpretation of scripture, our interpretation of God, our interpretation of Jesus for our entire existence of being oppressed. No God has came to our rescue. Hear me out. I'm not saying that there is no God that's seeking to rescue us. What I'm saying is the interpretation of God that we have received and we've been calling on and practicing, the interpretation of God we got from our former slave master, that God ain't our God. I'm gonna say that God ain't did us no justice. When our people was hanging from trees, when our women was alive and well, pregnant, and the slave masters taped them down and cut their stomach open, let the baby fall out and stumped on the baby, you don't think she was calling on God? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't think the black man that got raped in front of all the other people on the plantation was calling on God?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But going back to the divinity, we was removed from our God. We was forbidden to even speak our original language. If they heard you speaking anything other than English, they would
Right.
kill you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So imagine if we had prayers. Imagine if we had everything else, our own understanding of God, and you can't even speak your language. Now the only way you got to communicate to the God is the God that the slave master gave you.
Mm.
If he can't treat you right, you think he'll teach you right? You
Right.
think he'll teach you about the one true God, the person that's gonna give you the most power?
Mm.
If he trying to enslave you, do you think he'll connect you to the power source like that? Hell no.
Right.
Whatever interpretation of God he gave you is some bullshit.
Right.
Simple as that.
Agreed.
So we had belief. We still got belief. We still oppressed. We was oppressed. We still up. We was up. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Off belief alone. That belief in that interpretation of God is useless. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And like I said, I'm not trying to disrespect none of my people, but I think that belief is useless.
Mhm. So what you said is the Bible of today is the Bible that was used by slave masters to
I think the Bible still contains a lot of truth. I think a lot of people try to dismiss the Bible and say, don't read the Bible. I think that's not smart. The Bible contains truth, but the Bible has been tampered with. So truth is mixed with falsehood in some areas, or truth is hidden in such a way where it take a master interpreter to know what the hell it's saying. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you might have the truth, but truth has been skewered in a way or it's like you can't understand what the hell this book said anyway.
Yeah, I see what
You
you're
see what I'm
saying.
saying? So I don't think you should dismiss the Bible. But I think you should be careful about which interpretation of the Bible you have. You see what I'm saying? I think the Bible has been tampered with so much, and the interpretation of the Bible has been tampered with so much that the Bible can be poisonous to the black man or woman. But poison is not necessarily always bad, because to cure yourself of a snake bite, you have to use some of the venom. You see what I'm saying? If you use too much of the venom, you die.
Right.
If you use too less, you don't get the antidote. You see what I'm saying? So that's the position we in with the Bible. You have to use the right amount, and by amount, you have to have the right interpretation to have scripture affect your life positively. You see what I'm saying?
And I agree. And I'm gonna ask your input after I speak, but I agree when you were saying on the belief alone standpoint. I agree with that. I think you shouldn't just have belief alone, but I think that when you combine your belief with action, for example, something can be taught to you, but until you try it yourself and until you can tell me, all right, Cam, 5 plus 5 is 10. And if I never knew that before, and if I tried it myself, like, it is 10.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of the same way with the Bible. Like,
but you don't think we've been trying? You don't think we've been enforcing the Bible and all? I think with our interpretation of the Bible, I think black people have decade after decade tried to implement that in their life. But I think that interpretation wrong.
And that's what I was about to say. I think like your point, what you were saying about how why would they teach us this?
Yeah.
I think they were used by, because there's we can all agree that there's good and there's evil, right?
Yeah.
Good and there's evil. I think that they were used by evil to misinterpret and to teach the Bible in a manner that was not true or was not correct. I think they were used to do that. I believe that their interpretation, like we've been saying, is intentional, right?
Yeah.
I believe that that's intentional. But I don't think that because they used the Bible wrong, I don't think that the Bible itself is wrong.
Okay.
I think it's just a matter of they knew what they were doing, basically.
Okay.
I think that they knew what they were doing. But I wouldn't even call them, I wouldn't even call them followers of God, of Christ, if they were evil enough to do something like that. So I don't even look at them as Christian, because we don't refer to ourselves as Christian.
Yeah.
But I don't even look at them as Christian if they were evil enough to do something like that.
Right.
So I definitely agree, on some parts of what you were saying as far as the interpretation.
Yeah.
But I believe that they were used to do that. But I don't think that they just, taught straight from the book. It says this. I think that they put their ideologies in black people's minds, and then it was just a generation of passed down of traditional thought processes and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So
So I don't want to keep y'all too long, so we're finna wrap it
good.
up. I don't want to disrespect y'all time, disrespect Isaiah time, but I'm gonna ask this to make sure I got proper understanding of what you're saying. They taught the Bible wrong, but the Bible is not wrong itself.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this: do you think that they corrupted the Bible? Do you think they made any changes to the Bible?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I let me see. I think they made changes to the Bible, but it depends on the changes we're talking about. Like
Okay.
certain words here and there. And I have read that they've taken things out. The book of
Enoch.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The book of Enoch. Yeah. So
See, this thing I say about that.
yeah.
I like what you're saying, and I want to make sure I'm responding to you correctly. By making sure I'm understanding what you're saying.
Right.
I'm taking it as you saying the Bible not corrupted. The people corrupted that use the Bible. And I would say to that, only reason I think you saying that, you correct me if I'm wrong. Only reason I think you saying that is because so far you haven't ran across the research and studies to prove how much the Bible has been tampered with. I think you saying it from the perspective of the evidence just wasn't provided to you yet. And I say yet because you seem like a studious brother. I'm sure you go find it. You see what I'm saying? So I think when you run across it, then the perspective will change. I think the only reason you saying it is because you don't got nothing to go off of. Like you ain't, if I provide you with how from Genesis to Revelations the Bible was corrupted, then you'll have oh damn, I ain't know that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But since you ain't hip to all the changes, I see what you're saying. Like, bro, the Bible ain't corrupted. I take the perspective that the Bible itself is corrupted, not because God is corrupt or God made a corrupt Bible, but because the people who had control of the distributed, geez Louise, distributed and manufacturing of the Bible corrupted it.
I see.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, right,
so
right.
this is not no knock on God.
Right.
This is a knock on the people who had control over the production of God's book. You see what I'm saying? Like, one example I can think of off the top of the head, you know, in Islam, we call God Allah.
Right.
It's a lot of different interpretations of what Allah means. You can sum it up and say, some people say all in all. Some people say, like, it's 100 good names and attributes that encompasses life. That represents Allah. But Allah, literal translation is just God. You see what I'm saying? So in the Bible, they call God Allah. How in the hell do you get Allah? Then you read the Bible today and say Jehovah, Elohim, etc. You see what I'm saying? That's a huge mistranslation. And Elohim, the way you spell it, the first letter, it looked like an X in Hebrew. They translated to E. That's how they get Elohim. The literal translation is supposed to be an A. And it's supposed to translate as Alhim. And Alhim is a different pronunciation of Al. And Al, just like in Elohim and in El, how the El stand for God. And instead of like the God, like the one, Al is supposed to be what they translated El to be. Just that one little difference. How you will get Elohim versus Alhim or Elo versus Allah. That's a huge difference. You see what I'm saying? Now imagine off just what we talked about today, Allah and Elohim and God being the spirit versus God having a physical body in John 4:24. God is spirit, worship in spirit. Them little two verses will completely change your interpretation. You see what I'm saying? So now, imagine we go through the whole Bible showing everything that, you see what I'm saying? So I'm going to say this. we need to chop it up off camera. Like we need to get into some knowledge.
Yeah.
But y'all, I don't want to overextend our stay. Man, we don't want to disrespect their time. We don't want to disrespect Isaiah, the host. Man, I will put his Instagram on the screen. This studio, not my damn studio. It looked this fire for a reason, because his studio fire. But we don't want to disrespect no time, y'all, so we're going to keep it at this. Man, I appreciate y'all tapping into this episode of the Don't Be a Viking podcast. Y'all say what I can find y'all. Let them put y'all Instagram on screen, all that good stuff.
Sir, you can find me on Instagram at thecamrob_. THECAMROB_.
You can find my Instagram at Keyribee, KEYARIBEE.
Yes, sir, Ski. Now, I'm going to end it on this. I usually don't like to have no religious talks on the podcast, because a lot of times folks, it's not really studious on what they say they believe. So if you try to challenge them on what they believe, it turned into, well, I just believe what I believe. You go to hell. And you'll get into no knowledge. You'll get into no knowledge. You don't get to question them and ask them, like, prove this. Where you get this from? You know what they gonna say? I got it from the Bible. But is that really proof? You see what I'm saying? So right. A lot of times you can't go into religious talks because it turned into an emotional yelling match instead of a logical sit down discussion. So, bro, this was refreshing for me, goddamn, to have a real theological conversation.
Yeah, I think just overall, like, no matter what you believe in, you can't force your beliefs on somebody else. Yeah. If that's not what they want to believe, you can't force that. Yeah. As long as you don't disrespect, like you said, like, if this what you live by, because I choose to believe in God and Jesus, and that's what I'm gonna believe, and that's what I live by. So, you know, and whatever you choose to believe, that's what you want to believe. Yeah. So, you know, you can't really have a yelling argument, because if that's what they want to believe, that's them. Yeah. So, you know, you just got to respect it.
It's definitely a good conversation,
yes,
man.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Like you said, when people usually, when they on different sides of the equation, it don't end well.
It don't.
This goes to show it don't have to be that way.
Facts.
It don't have to be that way. So, like you said, it was definitely a good conversation, and man, we'll be back whenever you want to have.
Yes,
again,
sir.
Man.
Yes, sir. Right now, for all my people out there that may took offense to something I said, let's clarify something. I don't disrespect Christianity. I don't disrespect Christians. I know a lot of things when I say I'm Muslim, folks say you don't believe in Jesus. Yes, we do. I don't know who the hell came up with that lie. Yes, we do. We believe in Jesus. Right. What I will say, if you a level-headed person and you want to have a theological discussion, bro, hit me up. Like, let's talk. When I say I don't like to have theological discussions, it's not because I'm not interested in it. I just know some folks be off that damn rocker. So, man, if y'all interested in any type of conversation, man, hit me up. We can have it on camera, off camera, man, whatever you want to do. But I appreciate y'all tapping into this episode of Don't Be a Viking podcast. I'll holler at y'all on the next one. Yes, sir, Ski.